My name's Naomi Rasmussen. I am currently a rising senior at Pepperdine University, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to share a little bit about what I've been learning recently in my walk with God. So I live in Colorado, and my family owns some land up in the Rocky Mountain National Park with a couple other families. And we've had this for pretty much my whole life, and it's been great. We've been able to host camps and just different events and had people up there, and it's been great. But one of the things that we have to do in order to keep the land healthy is we have to go through and thin the trees. So generally it's my dad and my brother, and they go out and they cut down the trees. But they don't just go out and cut down any tree. They look for specific kinds. So sometimes it's a tree that's dead, sometimes it's a tree that's dying, but often what they have to do is they have to go through and look at the trees that are right on top of each other. So there'll be one tree and then there'll be another tree right next to it, and they kind of are right on top of each other. And what's happening is the smaller tree is sucking all of the nutrients from the bigger tree, preventing it from growing and becoming this giant tree. And so what we have to do is we have to go cut down the little tree so that the big one can grow. And what I want to talk about today is boundaries. And I think during this time of living in my parents' house and just growing up as an adult, something that I've had to learn a lot about is boundaries and setting boundaries for people in my life. And I think we have to learn how we can't be right on top of someone. We can't be attached to them at the hip and suck all the nutrients away from them. And it is important for us to grow and be connected. Aspen trees are something that grow native in Colorado, and what they do is they grow and they spread out, but then all of their roots connect and they're kind of interwoven. If you try and pull out one tree, it starts to rip out all of the other trees. And I think similarly in our relationship with God, we need to be connected to other people. We need to build those roots and connect to one another, but we can't smother each other and we can't be on top of one another. And I think something that I've been learning is how to set healthy boundaries just with people in my life and in my own personal life. I think I've had to learn how to have conversations with my parents of I'm growing up and I'm going to leave and I'm becoming an adult, and what is our relationship going to look like once I graduate college? And I've had to learn that I can't be on 5 Zoom calls in a row, and I can't be on my phone constantly, and social media can be toxic, and so spending time away from that. And I think it's really important to learn those different types of boundaries of what you're letting into your life and what you're putting out of your life. And are you that person that's the toxic tree that's taking away the nutrients from all the other trees and preventing them from growing? And just examining relationships in your life of how can I set healthy boundaries? And I think Jesus is a great example of someone who knew how to set boundaries. And in Mark 1, verse 35, it says, "Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed." And I think Jesus knew he needed those times away from people. He knew how to set boundaries. He was with people constantly, healing them and taking care of them both physically and spiritually. But he also knew that he needed to take some time away and connect and recharge and be with his God and his Father. And so I encourage you to take some time of what are some boundaries that you already have in place. Are they working? Are they not working? And figure out, are there new boundaries that you need to set in your life in order to grow spiritually and emotionally? But I think ultimately God is the one who's going to help us do that, and the one who will really guide us. And so I think it's important also to just seek guidance from God of, while we're creating those new boundaries, what are the boundaries that God wants us to set versus what are the boundaries that we just feel like setting because it's a trend or because someone told me to, but really examining what does God want for my life in this area. So thank you so much.